All right, welcome in everybody. Hey, happy Thursday. How you doing? I hope everybody's doing great today. Today in our astrology group, we're going to talk about planetary combinations and, very important combinations to look for in someone's birth chart as it relates to making a lot of money, having successful marriages, being famous, things along those lines. You can look at planetary combinations and see if they're there in the chart to kind of indicate those things. I'll give you the big ones. We'll talk about those today. Starting, let's see, on the 23rd of September, this is a something that you guys have been asking for a long time, for me to dive back into mission and purpose as it relates to your astrology chart, north nodes, south nodes, and how they show your mission and purpose. We're going to take this one step further in terms of how your mission and purpose may evolve over the course of your life. So if you're interested in that, there's a link below. This class starts on the 23rd. All right. And then I will tell you a little bit more about what's happening for astrology in October, but as we get closer. Okay. All right. Impasse, reflect and redirect your energy. Reaching your destination, your light is shining brightly. Oh, I like that. Wise leader. And surrendering to the journey, release control. Talked a lot about that in Pathfinders yesterday, the art of surrendering. So when you're manifesting, whatever you're manifesting in your life, I've noticed this, and maybe you have too, but whenever I get behind a driver who's going like below the speed limit, I mean, of course, I live in New England and we go everywhere fast and everything is only within a spitting distance of each other. So you can get to all 5 states in one day if you want to, 5.5 states. Anyway, when I'm driving behind somebody and I'm like late, right? And I'm just like, oh, I need you to go faster. If I just let it go, if I surrender to it, a lot of times that person turns off. But if I'm like on them, if I'm like right behind them and I'm like, hurry up, they go slower. And I have noticed that for 20 years. And so that happened again today. And I was just like, okay, I'm just going to surrender to the journey here. And that person turned off. And I was like, damn, that's magic. So give that a try. All right, give that a try. And, we're talking about something like as basic as like just driving to the grocery store or driving to a hair appointment or something like that. But I'm saying here, in terms of the big things, I feel like, it's a lot harder to just surrender to the journey for the big things. But I feel like even more of a reason to do it. Yeah, you're, this dynamic person and you're stepping into your power in your life. But the more you can kind of realize that you're working in concert with the universe, and there's more going on than just my needs, my feelings, my desires, my wants. There's more than that going on. But I'm part of a tapestry, right? I'm part of a whole group of people who are moving the spiritual journey forward. Then, sometimes it's like, some days I might feel like I don't move things forward very much. And other days I feel like, wow, like I'm really moving things forward a lot. It's going to be the same for you. And if you have been getting frustrated a lot by the lack of progress, somebody outside, the lack of progress in your spiritual goal, try surrendering. Try letting it go. And just see what happens. Like turn your attention to something else. Okay. There's the Temperance card, very much in alignment with what we're saying. 8 of Wands, the 10 of Cups, the 3 of Cups, and the Emperor. Okay. So the Emperor, the Aries in all of us, you have Aries in your chart. I have Aries in my chart. Sometimes people have, a lot of planets in Aries. Maybe you don't, but you do have Aries. You do have it in your chart. It does rule one of the houses, or at least it is in one of the houses in your birth chart. And so there is this sense of like, I must be dynamically moving everything forward all the time. I have to be doing this. Otherwise, things don't get done. If I don't do them, things don't get done. And I'm sure you've heard people say that. I'm almost getting the sense that spirit is saying you're needing to release control right now. You're needing to surrender. That's the reason that things aren't moving forward right now, is that you're not surrendering. Okay? King of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Six of Pentacles, Five of Swords, Four of Wands, Knight of Swords. Is there any such thing as, I need to get something done, so I need to manipulate a person in order to move them along? Like, that's part of what I'm doing. That's part of my leadership style. Like, I'm just, I'm trying to get them to do something that I want them to do, and they're not doing it. And I feel like, it's for the good of, this is ends justify the means. Okay. That's what this is. The ends justify the means. I don't believe that is going to work out well. Okay. So if you're trying to push something along, Three of Swords, Tower, and then the healing card of the Star, which I really like right after the Tower. There's definitely something from the past here that somebody pushed the envelope and it ended up breaking up a relationship or ending something. Maybe it's not what you wanted, right? Maybe it was something that wasn't really all that good, in terms of like, well, I didn't want that to happen, right? I didn't want the whole thing to collapse. But it did, or it's going to, right? Or it's in the path of that. This person needed to get out of your way. I feel like there was an immovable object, this impasse, this King of Pentacles could have been this impasse. And the King of Pentacles, like my way or the highway kind of thing, needed to move on from your life or needed to get out of your way. There's definitely a Tower coming. And what is this about? This Tower coming, this Page of Swords, which is a message, and this Four of Wands, which is about some kind of completion, some kind of ending here with this Tower. Now you can be healthy or something like that. Justice, Four of Swords, the Empress, and the Ace of Wands. All right. So this is much more about leaning into the energy of surrender. Very feminine energy, very allowing, just allowing things to move forward at their own pace. I'm not going to push anything. I'm staying in a balanced place. And it was really this masculine energy. I feel like this is happening on the planet, that the masculine energy is going to try to force something. The masculine energy is going to try to force something, and it's going to go blow up in their face. Okay. And we've been talking a lot about the feminine masculine energies, where the masculine has tried to push an old agenda, and it's not really going down very well. I feel like a lot of people are like really embracing their own feminine and wanting to embrace their feminine, wanting to not be in this kind of, this is an old paradigm. This King of Pentacles. Who is this King of Pentacles? Manipulating people because they think, well, it's for the best and highest good. It's not. It's for the, this outcome needs to happen. So if I need to get these people out of my way, I'm going to do it, right? There's like a ends justify the means thing here. No, Knight of Swords, sorry. King of Swords, Death, Five of Pentacles, and the Sun. So those of you, some of you are watching this happen, like with friends or people in your life. For others of you, this is a bigger picture thing. We're watching the masculine on the planet try to shove, and do what they want to do, create force, use force. If you've ever, and I have had this happen a couple of times in my life, when you try to force something and it breaks. And you could have just, been not so forceful or been not so directive or been not so. So this is really saying to me that the feminine energy of trying to create a partnership, trying to create collaboration, trying to come into some kind of connection with another person on a similar level. I just feel like this is about people. This is a stripe of people or a person or in your life or people on the planet who just want a certain end and they're going to rush it through. They're going to push it through. They're going to try to do that and it's going to break something. Um, it could break something financial. Like you're trying, like that example of me being behind somebody when they were going slow, you pass them and you go super fast right by a cop. Then you're getting a nice big fat ticket. Okay. There's something like that going on that you're running afoul to do that. Like, okay, I need to get to this place by a certain time. The ends are justifying my forcing and it's not going to turn out the way you hope. So for anybody here who's trying to push something through or force something through, just know it's not going to end the way you want it to. So I would, what's being asked of us here is to kind of like pull back. All right. Get more balanced, pull back. The Temperance card, the Justice card, the Four of Swords, and I've got the Empress here. There is this old way of doing things or this old way of trying to force an event or force something, whatever it is going to blow up in a big way. And so there now needs to be some kind of new path forward. The people who are creating collaboration, the people who are creating, workarounds, let's do this together. Let's make, let's work on something that's going to benefit everybody. There's definitely a feeling of that, this old paradigm, this King of Pentacles getting crushed. Meaning, the more they push, the more they shove, the more the things are going to break. Okay? The more the things are going to break. This is a family member of yours. This is a boss. If this is an ex, the more they shove, the more the Five of Pentacles. The more money they're going to lose, the more they're going to break stuff that can't be fixed, including relationships. The Knight of Wands, the Chariot, the Devil card, and the Ace of Cups. So here's the thing. I feel like this has to happen. I feel like somebody has to, like, I don't know if this is you. This almost feels like somebody that you know or somebody in your life that is trying to force something through. And I feel like you are this wise leader, okay? You're this wise leader who says, sometimes shoving and pushing, not sometimes, a lot of the times, it's not going to get you what you want. There's a sense of like getting into worse trouble because you're doing that. Like I said about the police, like you're going to get a big fat ticket and then your insurance is going to go up and then all of it, like it's like cascading problems. So the benefit here is that you're seeing this on the journey. You're seeing people behave this way. You're seeing people having like lots of frustration and forcing things. You're seeing people getting in arguments or trying to make their voice heard and they're stomping on other people. Friends, there's a time to lead and there's a time to assess. This is a time of assessment and surrender. Surrendering to the path because this other faction or this group of people or this person specifically is going to push so hard they're going to break something and you're not preventing it by stepping in. I feel like it will be more impactful to allow the breaking point. All right? Allow some kind of breaking point. So, this is strategic on your part to let someone make a fool of themselves, let someone fall into a pit of despair, let someone, throw a fit, let someone do something. And then once it becomes obvious to this person that they can't do what they want in that way, okay, this is when the aha moments happen. The Ace of Wands, the Death card, the Ace of Cups, Lover's card, the Two of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, I like this. So this is basically saying letting the situation, you might be in a situation at work or a situation in your family where someone is doing this. You know who they are. And it's not your job to not be awake to it. It's kind of like you're letting it happen. Now, that is one of those things that can feel really scary, to let somebody do something that's going to result in pain for themselves or pain for other people. And there's I get this sense of like you trying to like sweep up the mess as it's going, try to make things as okay as you can. There's a little hint of codependency there. And also, I feel like there is purpose in this tower. I feel like there's purpose in this tower that I don't know what it is yet, but it does feel to me like there's some new conversations that happen because of this tower. I got to tell you too, I'm not exactly sure that you could prevent this tower, even as a wise leader. So let's get into it. I'm going to go deeper into this reading. Let's go deeper into the tower and then what happens afterwards. Okay, link is below. If this is your reading, I'll see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.